But once again, we're dealing with the fatherhood of God, because it's really important for us to understand fathers. Because a lot of times people, the Bible said there are thousands of ministers, but there are very few fathers. Father is a person that take their time with you, mentor you to the point where the Christ will be formed in you. And not only your Christ be formed in you, but your purpose as well. Because it's really important. The Bible said train the child up in the way they should go. And when they are old, they won't depart from it. It's really important for the departure not to be there. And it's really important. And that's mentally, physically, and as well as financially. You want to make sure that the children are set up financially. The father, that's what their responsibility is. One of the words for father is source, provider, one is the creator. So once you're creating something, so it's really important for the father to understand his responsibility, and a lot of times that God will provide. That's why he got to know Father God. It's really important for the father to know Father God, and it's really important for the children and the wife and everybody honoring each other. It's an honor thing. The Bible said, honor thy father and thy mother that it might be well with you. It's still an honor thing. Everything is just an honor and respect. If you look at a person in life that I noticed since I've been on the planet, I'm kind of young, but what I've noticed is that every person on the planet, every person who I see that's successful, it was somebody who they respected. Or somebody who's not successful is somebody who they disrespected. So it's really important for honor to be there. Honor is really important in respecting. And Joyce has been dealing with she's been doing an intensive study on the fatherhood of God. And I've been watching her study it. And it's really important for us to get this on the inside of our spirit. Because when God starts calling you father, that should give you goosebumps. That should say, oh man, that means I got somebody to really lean upon. But the distortion of fatherhood causes us to lose our respect even for God. And so it's really important for us to understand the physical father in order to deal with the spiritual. And Joyce did a study on that. And Joyce, what you were saying last time about the fatherhood of God.
Well, I have a definition here. Because I understand that many times when we're trying to deal with something in the physical, a lot of times it's going to lead to a certain amount of frustration. And the reason for that is because many times we'll try to tackle something that's happening physically, but it stems initially from the spirit. And the reason I say that is because we are first spiritual
That's right.
beings living in a physical body. We're spiritual beings. And we live in a physical body. So most of the problems that we have in our physical makeup stem from something that is transpired in the spiritual world. So when, we as believers in Yeshua, when we receive Jesus Christ and we go back to Father God to try to solve what's happening in our physical lives, normally we're going to find out that the root of our problem is spiritual and not physical. And I have a definition that I read about fathers. And the reason why we're talking about fathers, we'll talk about mothers also. Because mothers are great. Man, they're beautiful. Man, yes. You had to have your mama to get here, but you had to have your daddy to jumpstart you. My mama couldn't have been a mama hadn't there been no daddy. So what we're trying to do is really, really get to the root of the matter and really help the inhabitants of the earth. I mean, we're helping ourselves with this, but we're really trying to just launch this thing out because we really want to see the people of God on the earth prosper and blessed. Yes. We really do. You know, and the Bible says, when you get the truth, when you get the truth, don't hold it.
That's right.
Don't hold it and just say, well, I don't find out the truth and I'm not going to share it. You're supposed to let your brothers and sisters know. Because all of us are in this together.
That's right.
But in dealing with the fatherhood, I found a definition of the word father. And it says a man. So a woman can't be a man. So the definition of a father, is a man in relation to his child.
Man in relation with his child.
To his child. So a young man or older man or whatever, if you don't actually have a child, you know, you won't be called a father, but we know we do have spiritual fathers.
Yes.
So we don't want to negate that. So it says a man in relation to his child. Besides the paternal bonds of a father to his children, the father may have a parental, legal, and social relationship with his child, his child, that carries certain obligations. Okay? So, being a father, you have obligations. You have parental, not paternal, but parental, legal, social relationships with this child. And it requires certain obligations to that child.
But see, a blessing come along with that, because when a man come in and take his responsibility and take his role as being a father, God supernaturally, provisions come over that individual life. God was moved heaven and earth for you. A lot of times when fathers go through a lot of stuff is because they don't believe they can do it. You know, we got societal things set up and situations set up around you to try to make you fail. But there's a lot of things in life that God has given you. You see, but
could you comment on when a man does decide to take on the responsibility and say, yes, that is my child. Now, he may not even be married to the mom, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about fathers.
When you take on that
take
role.
on the responsibility and the role of a father. Now, you said that sometimes there are. Now, when he does that, you said God will begin to bless him.
That's right.
Because he's taking on that and said, that's my child.
In fact, a lot of times people be wondering why they're not successful is because they haven't been taking care of their children.
Well, could you talk about that? How that impacts a man? We're talking about all races. The black man, the white man, the red man, the yellow man, the brown man.
Right, that's superseding color.
How?
Because you're dealing with spirits.
Yes. Because we're talking about prosperity on the earth for the believer. So when that prosperity is being hindered, and it has something to do with being a father, taking on that obligation of that child, no matter where that child is, when he decides to do that, he says, yes, that's my child. Even if I have to go seek them out, that's my child. I'm going to go and do that. He said God will begin to bless him. But then you said that society or
sometimes there are roadblocks that stop.
And
sometimes in situations the parents can't get along. Sometimes the father be away from the child for a long period of time, and then the father can't be in the role because of child support, different situations, things come into their lives, and they can't stand one another, and so they have to depart. Then a lot of times the child has to wait and then seek the father out. And sometimes seeking the father out, and then sometimes the father is going through personal things himself and trying to get his finances together and all that kind of stuff, and then trying to get his own personal life together, because a lot of times people make mistakes, and you know, everybody,
sometimes
the Bible said early in life, the Bible said there is none good, no, not one. Sometimes people make decisions in their life early, and they have babies at a young age, and by the time they get old enough to make those quality decisions, it's a little bit too late. So the child is there and responsibilities are there. But I'm just telling a person, if they grasp hold the Father, if they grasp hold the fatherhood of God, because I was just looking at, I'm looking at Joy's notes right here. One of the names of Father is Adonai, is my great Lord. And then you got El, which means the strong one. So that is very important. God is very strong. And when you develop a relationship with God, He'll move heaven and earth for you to make provisions for your children. See, the Bible said once you, Jesus, see, God took care of Jesus.
Yes.
And when God took care of Jesus, and the way He took care of Jesus, He actually sent a diary for Jesus. Wise men were looking for him.
And you know we're going to have to do part 3 because this is
It's
getting
gonna
too
part.
good and too
Yes,
juicy.
yes.
So we're going to come back with part 3 because Pastor Hunt is on a roll.
Yes.
So come back and listen to part 3
Yes.
of the Fatherhood of God.